I will never buy another PlayStation. That's a feeling I've been having for a while now, but, thanks to some more recent events and, happenings, I definitely feel a lot more confident, a lot more solidified in my feelings about that. Sony and PlayStation, it almost seems like they don't want me as a customer anymore. They've been kind of pushing down that path for years now, but everything has really just sort of come to a head here recently now, hasn't it? I've been kind of dodging around talking about this for a little while. I've been kind of avoiding the sort of negative press happening in games here lately, just in general. But I think I've decided that, I don't know, I don't want to just sit by it anymore and not say anything. My stance has been I love games. I love gaming. I hate that I have to get out here and bitch about it. Because, that's not really fun. But the hard truth, the hard reality of the situation is that there's a lot of not fun things happening in the world of gaming right now, so it's just kind of the way it is. I'm out here to talk about the things that suck right now. So there's probably going to be some more of that here coming up real soon. It's just the reality we're facing, man. And so right now I wanted to talk about the thing that's hitting particularly close to home for me. Because, well, I'm a physical game collector. I'll admit I've eased up on my strict attitude towards collecting physical games over the years. Mostly since I've gotten my PC, because I buy a lot of games on Steam now, which obviously that's all digital. But in the rare occasions that I buy myself a new PlayStation game or Nintendo game or whatever, I like to get a physical copy. I like to feel like I own my media. It's nice to have that little tangible box, that little thing that you can just hold in your hand, you can open up, you can smell that new plastic, you know what I mean? Rip it out of that factory sealed plastic wrap and it's like, oh, banana. And I've just collected games for as long as I can remember, so it's just something that it's a time-honored tradition for me. Well, recently PlayStation decided, fuck you. It was kind of just a really unfortunate series of events that took place leading up to this announcement. I don't remember the exact order of events, but I want to say it started with Grand Theft Auto 6. They opened up pre-orders, and it turns out that, you can only get this game digitally, even if you buy it physically. If you buy a physical copy of GTA 6, you're getting a code in a box. So, yeah, that kind of stunk. I mean, that was unfortunate to hear. I could almost see the reasoning behind it initially. This is going to easily be the biggest video game launch of all time. They probably didn't want this game to get into the hands of leakers or anything early. Pop their disc into their PlayStations and then just leak everything online, days or weeks or who knows, even months in advance. I could almost get on board with that logic and reasoning and see where they're coming from there, if that was truly the intention. Well, shortly after this announcement, shortly after pre-orders went live for GTA 6, it was maybe about a week later, it was revealed that Sony PlayStation was going to be removing hundreds of movies that people purchased and had in their digital libraries because, I don't know, they lost the licensing to those films or something like that. They were no longer capable of distributing those pieces of media. So, just hundreds of movies that people may have bought are just now ripped from their clutches. How fucking dare you? How fucking dystopian is that? So that already paints a pretty bleak picture regarding digital ownership over your media, over your purchases. It's scary. I mean, they can just take these things from you at any time with no warning given whatsoever. Okay, to be fair, there is warning here. I think that they're removing these in the beginning of September or something like that. Not that they need a fucking fair warning anyway. What am I saying? What am I even doing? Who cares if they're warning you like, hey buddy, we're gonna take your shit from you. You have a couple months left to play with it. Have fun. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, buddy. Suck a fart out of my ass. How about that? So I guess somewhere along the line there, some master decision maker over at Sony, over at PlayStation decided, hey, you know what we could use to help you know, curb some of this bad press, some more fucking atrocious press, on the heels of announcing that you don't really truly own anything and we can take anything from you whenever we want. It's time for us over at PlayStation to announce that you will only be able to buy games from us digitally starting in 2028. How about that? Fuck you. Fuck you. I would really like to know who's calling the shots over there because, I mean, really just bravo. Bravo, wonderful. Like, you could not have painted a more, like, clear picture for how devastating an all-digital ecosystem can be for us in the future, man. We already live in a reality where game companies can release, you know, just live service games, just any kind of game really, and shut them down and completely revoke your access to them. A good example, I mean, Sony has a ton of examples from the last couple of years, but let me use a very recent example from over at Nintendo. They had the Mario Kart Tour mobile game, and that is going to be shutting down, and it will just no longer be playable. It will no longer be accessible. Anybody who shelled out $40 for the Diddy Kong package, sorry man, that's $40 that you just pissed away, because Nintendo's taking it back. Like, they're not even offering an offline mode. And it's because they don't have to. There's no rules or regulations saying they need to. That's something that the Stop Killing Games initiative is aiming to conquer. I haven't fully kept up with everything that's happening with that, but from the sounds of it, I think they're facing some hurdles. That's unfortunate. But yeah, getting back to the topic at hand, like, PlayStation really just kind of laid it all out for us. One bad decision after another. They claim that they've been planning to make this move for a while, and I do believe that because they absolutely want an all-digital landscape where they have just control over all of your media, but I'm not totally convinced that they were ready to pull the trigger on it until GTA 6 announced that they were doing all digital. It was an all-digital release. They probably saw the pre-order numbers fucking flooding in, and they said, oh yeah, now is the time. It's scary. I have a lot of concerns from a gamer standpoint, a consumer standpoint. I think the biggest of all, to me, I mean, like, all of these different companies, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, they are gung-ho for subscription services. We have, like, company CEOs, like, top, you know, rung people out here coming out and talking about how you just need to get comfortable with owning nothing. I think that was a Ubisoft guy who said that. We have other people in the industry talking about how, like, subscription services, you know, like, just paid services, that's the way of the future as far as gaming. I completely disagree. From recent numbers and news that's being shared about Game Pass over at Xbox, I think they've proven that, well, at least that way of doing things, that ain't gonna work. But the point I'm trying to get to regarding paid services and all that, like, what is stopping PlayStation from, like, you know, after, who knows, a couple of years? Does it even need to be that long? Could it just be a couple of months? Like, after they do away with physical games, what's stopping them from paywalling your access to your digital library? It's a very real question. It's a very real, valid concern. You already have to be a paid PlayStation Plus subscriber and remain a paid subscriber to continue to gain access to the games from their free catalog that they give you monthly. So even though you're paying for this service to have access to these games and, you know, games that they so graciously bestow to you for being a PlayStation Plus subscriber, well, you're not truly being given the games. You're being handed a pass for paying, you know, $80 or more a year or whatever it is now. I have so many games that are just locked in my digital library on my PS5 because I don't pay for PlayStation Plus anymore. I haven't for years, and I don't intend to. I really don't intend to ever again. Apparently physical collectors, you know, people who are buying physical games for their PlayStation, it's a small part of their business. That's what they say anyway. I could believe it. I know that things are trending more towards digital, you know, as the years go by. And that's what all of these companies just, they salivate at the idea of things going that direction. I mean, all of them, the entire big three circle circle over there. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, they're all eyeing it up. They get a much larger percentage of sales from digital because they don't have to, let the retailers take a cut or anything like that. They don't have the cost of like printing, the games anymore on discs and, the packaging, all that fun stuff. But the real cherry on top for that, no, this isn't even the cherry on top. This is the whole Dallas fillet, Yeah, you put a cherry on top of the Dallas fillet. It just completely corners the market. It completely destroys the entire secondhand market, and it just makes it so that they are the only place that you can go to purchase these games anymore. It's so crazy thinking back how, PlayStation 1, that one E3, what was it, E3 like 2013 or something like that, where everybody was afraid of Xbox and their DRM and going all digital and like all that kind of stuff. They won that whole thing by being like, here's how you share a game on PlayStation. They hand the game to each other. And now they're the first to take the swing and just completely get rid of physical altogether. Oh, God. Listen, PlayStation, you've made the decision easy for me. If I'm that small a part of your business because I like to collect physical games to the point that you no longer want to cater to me, okay, that's fine. I have zero intentions of being a PlayStation customer anymore moving forward. And that's a real easy decision for me to make. I have a PC. I can play whatever the fuck I want on this thing, man. It's not like PlayStation is putting out any kinds of games that I want to play anymore anyway. They're in 2 lanes right now, and they are going just full force into those 2 fucking lanes, man. Sony loves their goddamn movie games, that third person over the shoulder, action hand-holdy kind of video game. They practically play themselves. It's all about high fidelity visuals and, epic storytelling that it really isn't that epic. The stories aren't really that great. They take years and years and years and years to release anyway. It's not like they have a very consistent release lineup of games, but they're not even the kind of games that I want to play. I think I've had 3 total games over the last 5 or 6 years that I've had my PS5 that I really wanted. The whole reason I bought a PS5 was so that I could play Demon Souls, the Demon Souls remake. I got scammed. I got scammed because I wanted a PS5 so stinking bad just to play that game. And then whenever I actually finally got my PlayStation, I didn't actually even end up liking the game all that much. So that was just the cherry on top of the whole thing. Ratchet and Clank was awesome. I had a great time with that game, but then it ended up coming to Steam anyway. And then there was Astro Bot, which I think has probably been the best PlayStation game that I've played in a long time. And, PlayStation doesn't really want to make those kinds of games. I'm sure there's probably gonna be another Astro Bot. I hope it comes to PS5. I would... No, what am I saying? They're doing away with physical in 2028. There's not gonna be a physical copy of Astro Bot if there's a sequel. It's like, I don't know, man. It's such a scary time because it's like, it's like, I would want a game like that. I would want to play a sequel to that game, but there's gonna be one way to do it. And, they could have complete control over it eventually. So aside from, the third person over the shoulder, we are making movies the video game kind of angle that they have. They fucking love to fail. They love their fucking failure games over in the live service camp. I don't know why. I don't know why they fucking love it so much, but they're not stopping anytime soon. They said it themselves. They said Concord, that was one of the biggest flops in all of gaming, but we're not done yet. We spent $3 fucktillion, however much it was, on Bungie, so that way, we could get their live service expertise, and they released fucking Marathon, and that game is dead. We wanted that to be like our bread and butter for years. Oh yeah, but no, we're still doing more of that though. We see the potential to milk that cow. Yeah, newsflash, fucker. The live service market is completely cornered. It's conquered. It's over. You're trying to break into the market to go up against titans of the industry that have been doing this for like a decade now. You have games like Fortnite and Overwatch. There's stuff like Dead by Daylight. I mean, these games, that's where people are spending their time. You're not gonna peel them away. There's no room. There's no room left. Get the fuck out of there. Go back to doing what you do best, Sony. It's not that. fucking promise you, it is not that. Realistically, Sony is just doing what works for them, and it's these ridiculously budgeted, high graphical fidelity, you know, basically movie games. That's what's working for them as a business. Okay, good for you. Listen, regardless of the all-digital future, regardless of the cost of, you know, PlayStation consoles further down the line, they're just not making products that I'm interested in anymore. If I can count, I mean, basically just one game that I can only get on my PS5 in the last 6 years that I wanted and that I really enjoyed. That is a horrible track record. In the last year alone of my Nintendo Switch 2, they've been releasing games basically monthly. I've bought a lot of them. I have a pretty decent little first-party stack of physical Switch games over on my shelf right behind me. Those are games that I enjoy. Those are games that I've had a great time with. I'm perfectly fine with sticking to Nintendo and my PC. It is kind of funny, ironically, like just talking about how, you know, Steam is one of my avenues, considering they are also an all-digital landscape. Dear God, I shudder to think what'll happen if something ever happens over there at Steam and they decide like, hey, we're gonna fuck it up. We're gonna fuck it up real bad. Whatever, man. That's a topic for another day. So yeah, this is just one of the things that's been bothering me lately about the realm of gaming. Honestly, I've been feeling just kind of really beside myself and just totally indifferent to just gaming in general lately, just modern gaming. And that's something that I'm gonna save. I'm gonna like get into the whole meat and potatoes of my feelings there in a separate video at some point. I really just wanted to get out here and bitch a little bit about PlayStation and just how I am just not here for it. It sucks, but it just kind of is what it is. I mean, like I got a lot of use out of my PlayStation 5 the first couple of years that I had it before I got my gaming PC. It allowed me to play third-party games that like I didn't have the ability to play on my old gaming PC because it was kind of a piece of crap. But, you know, now it collects dust. I have to pay to play online, man. Fuck all that. I have to do that on Nintendo too, but I mean, I don't know, man. At least Nintendo is releasing games that I want to play. Anywho, PlayStation, go fuck yourself. Why, man? I'm trying to think of what was the last physical PlayStation game I bought? Like looking back at my shelf, I think it was Sonic Superstars. I bought that on a sale. Like I think it was a Black Friday sale last year. It was like $10, and I do that from time to time. And like I still plan on buying some more physical games for my PlayStation as they go on sale. There's a lot of games that like okay, so I don't buy like a ton of just brand new games anymore. Aside from Nintendo games, that's pretty much it. Nintendo games very rarely go on any kind of deep discounts, so like I don't know. I wait for deep discounts for games that I am interested in. Doom the Dark Ages, for instance, that's one that I'm still eyeing up. I'd like to play that at some point, just kind of waiting for a good sale, you know? So I will still continue to do that for my PS5 while physical is still here, because boy, I mean, 2028 is not that far away. It's gonna be here very quickly. And then, well, that's just it. I will be severing my ties, any ties that I have left over to PlayStation at that point. Anyway, okay, I think I've said just about everything I can say here. How do you guys feel? Do you think it's just as shit as I do? I think it's a big poop shit. A big shitty poop happening over there at PlayStation, and it doesn't seem like they're willing to walk it back. What a ass load of ass. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.